So China is the world's largest consumer of copper, and what we've been hearing is that some of the shipments that were bound for the United States that can't make the August 1st deadline are now being rerouted. In terms of other destinations that could be receiving some of this extra copper, where could that be?
So let's take the example of Chile. Chile is the largest exporter of refined copper to the U.S. Now, the U.S. only does import refined copper mostly. So in the event that Chile cannot export as much copper, refined copper, as it could before to the U.S., it will start exporting its concentrates instead. And this will largely go to China, especially because China has increased its refining capacity over the last 2 decades. The copper smelting capacity has ballooned, and so China is ready to accept these ores from Chile. Now, there's also a huge shortage of copper ores in China, which is why treatment charges have gone negative in recent weeks. So this is a welcome news for China. Other than China, a lot of these ores could be exported to places like India, where the domestic manufacturing sector is also doing pretty well. So other than India, we have Vietnam, we have South Korea, who could take a lot of these copper ores as well.
So is it correct to say that China will be a key beneficiary of this particular tariff on copper?
For now, yes, but also no, in the sense that if copper prices decline significantly, copper prices outside of the U.S., because of the global growth issues that we're seeing, now tariff uncertainty will have a significant impact on global growth. We do expect a slowdown in growth globally. So even if China takes these ores and they manufacture them, they still have to face issues in their domestic economy, such as their property sector. So China will refine these ores, but where will these refined products go to? There needs to be significant lift in Chinese demand domestically for any of these to benefit meaningfully.
Now, going over to the United States, there are some copper mines that are being run by Freeport-McMoRan as well as Rio Tinto. Can these operators just run their mines harder to offer more supply?
It doesn't work that way. Copper capacity takes quite a while to build, as I mentioned before. I think just 1 mine or 2 mines is not going to make up for the 800 million tons of copper that the U.S. requires from overseas, half of its consumption. So they can't really work harder, but they can start exploring for copper. And honestly speaking, we do expect some exemptions or exceptions to be made so that the immediate shortage is met while the U.S. increases its copper production capacity.
So I was reading that there were some new mines that are currently being worked on, but it's being held up by regulatory issues. Do you think that given with these latest tariff bonanza, these headlines, that it could speed things along and get mines developed a little bit faster?
So in the event that domestic firms are suffering, there definitely is likely, in the event that these tariffs go through and there is a shortage and domestic firms are not doing so well, then we do expect faster regulatory approvals for projects that are currently held up. But even then, speeding up approvals of these are not going to increase the production capacity significantly.
Yeah, and it will take some time. I was referring to Rio Tinto's Resolution Copper in Arizona, which has been delayed by legal challenges by the indigenous Apache people. We've talked a lot about copper. I'm also curious about steel and aluminum. Of course, the tariffs in these 2 metals have been raised to 50% as well, including their derivative products. What have we learned from the tariffs imposition? Of course, it's been a couple of months now. How have we seen it work through these 2 metals?
Well, copper and aluminium both have seen immediate price increases in the aftermath when the tariffs were first announced. But prices have already started moderating now, and the fundamental factors have started kicking in rather than sentiment-driven factors. So steel prices remain in the doldrums, and this is because of weak Chinese demand, China's property sector. The Chinese PMI remains in contraction, so the demand for aluminium and steel, which is mostly coming from China, historically speaking, is not doing very well. And that has been the major drag to steel and aluminium prices in the last couple of months.